إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستهديه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله تعالى من شرور أنفسنا وسيئات أعمالنا إنه من يهديه الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. My dear brothers and sisters who are watching, and everybody is most welcome to, inshallah, join us this exceptional session. We said it's an exceptional session because it doesn't go with the same sequence that we have started. We were talking about the chapter of Salah, and we did that also before when we had to speak about Ramadan fasting. We were, subhanAllah, the chapter of Salah, prayer, is long chapter. It deals with the most important pillar after Tawheed, Salah. Has a lot of details. So we had stopped before to speak about fasting, right? Before the month of Ramadan, we have taken the last 5 weeks to speak about the rulings of fasting, Sawm, right? Alhamdulillah, we finished Sawm. So here again, we came to the second Eid, or the second occasion after Ramadan, which is Al-Hajj. And since we are not going to be able to make Hajj this year because of the pandemic, or you can say the situation that we are facing, right? Those who didn't go to Hajj, we ask Allah to grant them the ability to go to Hajj. And those who went to Hajj, we ask Allah to give them again the chance to go again and again. So we used in such days to speak about Hajj, right? How can we make Hajj? What does Hajj mean? So with Hamda we spoke in the last 2 years about Hajj. So, but I have received a call and I received many questions after that from some brothers who said, we are intending to slaughter Udhiyah. And I discovered, or I realized that most of them, they are not fully aware of the conditions and the qualities of the sacrificial animals that they have to choose for their udhiyah, for their qurbani. And udhiyah is one of the sha'airs, one of the rituals. The Prophet ﷺ, even he mentioned that in the authentic hadith, whoever has the ability, the financial ability, right, to make udhiyah, to slaughter, and he doesn't do it, let him stay away from our musalla. من وجد ساعة فلم يضحي فلا يقربن مصلانا. Whoever finds a way, like if he or whoever has the financial ability to make udhiyah and he doesn't do it, let him stay away from our musalla. Because of that hadith, some of the scholars said it is wajib. It is what? It is wajib to slaughter. Sit here, please. Yeah. They said it's wajib. It is wajib to slaughter. It's an obligation if you have the financial ability to do that, right? And there's another hadith in which the Prophet ﷺ, he is slaughtered, and he said after he did these animals that he have slaughtered are being slaughtered on behalf of those who don't slaughter in my nation. Right? قال هذا عمن لم يضحي من أمتي. Because of that, the scholar said, it's not wajib. Some of them say it's not wajib because the Prophet ﷺ, he did it on our behalf. But anyway, we have to be so keen to apply the sunnah, to do it if you have the ability. Especially, you are going to feed others. You are going to make one of the rituals of Allah very clear and evident. So these are one of the manifestations of the what they call commemoration of the event or incident that happened when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanded his Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam to slaughter, to slay or to kill his son Ismail alayhi salam. And then when he submitted, when they فَلَمَّا أَسْلَمَا وَتَلَّهُ لِلْجَبِينِ, when they submitted to what Allah has commanded them to do, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He, out of His mercy, He granted them this sacrificial animal, right? This ram that came from the heaven to be slaughtered, right? Instead of Ismail alayhi salam. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saved him. But Allah also elevated their stats. From this moment of submission till the day of judgment, we every year commemorate this sacrifice by Ibrahim alayhi salam. Something great. When you sacrifice your animal, you have to ponder and reflect all over what Ibrahim alayhi salam did, right? And to know it is something great to do. The best thing to do on the day of Eid is to slaughter. The first thing, the best thing to do, right? So, and this is the significance of Udhiyah. Udhiyah is not a habit, it's not a culture. It's not a culture like sometimes we think. We have habit to do that. We do it automatically, without thinking, without like pondering over the purpose of that. You sacrifice for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. قل إن صلاتي ونسكي ومحياي ومماتي لله رب العالمين. Say indeed, O Muhammad, say indeed my salah, my nusuk. Nusuk means dhabh, slaughtering, sacrifice. ومحياي, my life. ومماتي, even my death. لله رب العالمين, for Allah, the Lord of the world. And Allah said in Surah Al-Kawthar, إِنَّا أَعْطَيْنَاكَ الْكَوْثَرَ فَصَلِّ لِرَبِّكَ وَانْحَرْ. Indeed, we have given you, O Muhammad, Sallallahu Al-Kawthar, which is actually a river, right, that Allah has given to the Prophet Sallallahu. And he said to him, فَصَلِّ لِرَبِّكَ, so pray for your Lord, and then وَانْحَرْ means what? Slaughter, right? And sacrifice. Slaughter, the scholar said, as-salah in this verse means what? Salatul Eid, Eid al-Adha, right? And this is the first thing that we have to put in mind. فَصَلِّ لِرَبِّكَ, you pray first and then you slaughter. One day, by the way, this is also another hadith. This is one of the conditions of the timing condition. Like the Prophet ﷺ said, من ذبح قبل الصلاة من ذبح بعد الصلاة فهذه أضحية أو كما قال صلى الله عليه وسلم ومن ذبح قبل الصلاة فهو لحم يقدمه إلى أهله. Whoever slaughters after Salah, this is the Udhiyah, this is the Qurban. This is the, as you see, the Qurban, right? This is the Udhiyah. And whoever slaughters before Salah, which Salah? Salat al-Eid. Whoever slaughtered before that, he did what? It's only just meat he's going to present to his family. So timing is so important. Sometimes people are they are in rush. Before after Fajr, they go and pray and slaughter. They say now we slaughter the day of Eid. No, you have to wait till you pray. Till you pray. If you slaughter before Salah, it's going to be valid. Oh, I want to slaughter before so that after Salah I will be ready. Food will be ready for me to eat. It's going to be meat, like any other thing you slaughter, like any other, time. It doesn't have any. It's not going to give you the reward. So timing is so important.
Can't they pray over there?
After Salah, huh?
Can't they pray over there?
Pray where?
They go for the slaughter.
They pray first and then they slaughter. Right? Because the time of Salah starts from after sun rising, 10 minutes after sun rising, after Shuruq, right? And continues till before Dhuhr. This is the time of Salah. This is the time of Duha. So if you pray any time, this is the time window, right, of the Salah. Any time you pray, you go and slaughter, right? So now we understood the value of this sha'ira, ritual, ibadah. It's ibadah for Allah. Because of that, it is ibadah. You have to do it the same way the Prophet ﷺ commanded us to do. Here again, if we slaughter because it's kind of culture or kind of like something we got used to do every year, yes, you will find people go and slaughter animals, right, without applying any of the manners of the Prophet ﷺ mentioned. Sometimes even they forget to say Bismillah. Sometimes even they forget to do. They go and subhanallah treat animals very harshly, violently, and they kill animal in front of its sisters and and they don't even sharpen their blade and all of these things they don't do because the Prophet ﷺ said, إِذَا قَتَلْتُمْ فَأَحْسِنُوا الْقِتْلَةَ. Right? وَإِذَا ذَبَحْتُمْ فَأَحْسِنُوا الذِّبْحَ. وَلْيَحِدَّ أَحَدُكُمْ شَفْرَتَهُ وَلْيُرِحْ ذَبِيحَتَهُ. He said, when you go to kill, you have to kill perfect. You have to apply perfection, ihsan, when you kill. When you slaughter, you have to do that, with ihsan, with perfection. And then he explained, and let one of you sharpen his blade and give rest to his sacrificial animal. If it's like sheep, it's better to keep it laying down, to make it lay down first. If it's cow, the same. Only thing that you slaughter when she is standing is what? Camel, right? The camel. But everything else is better to make it lay down. So this is one of these things that the Prophet mentioned, and we're going to inshallah mention that in details. But let's start with that. He said first, there are 6 conditions for the Udhiyah. 6 what? 6 conditions for the Udhiyah. First one. It should be one of the An'am class. What An'am? I'm going to give you an example.
Goat, sheep.
Can we slaughter deer?
No.
Can we?
Yeah.
For what?
Yeah.
For Udhiyah?
Can
Yes.
we do that?
I don't see why not.
Yeah. He said yes.
Domestic.
Yeah.
The domestic.
Domestic or wild, whatever. Can we?
I don't know.
Yes.
So what do you ask?
He It's halal.
It's halal. No, I'm not. By the way, no, I'm not asking about halal and haram now. I said asking about specific question.
Can you do a deer?
Can we do it? Can we do it on the day of Eid? Can we slaughter? What do you call gazelle?
What?
Gazelle.
Can we do it?
Can you find a gazelle?
Can we slaughter? I'm asking you. Can we slaughter? Like, is it halal to eat horse or not?
I don't know if it's halal.
Halal.
I think it's halal.
Authentic hadith in Sahih Bukhari.
Okay.
Huh? Yes.
Horse is halal.
Horse is halal to eat. Horse is halal to eat. Halal to eat. So again, can we slaughter? The first condition, the animals should be from an'am, bahimatul an'am. I need to memorize this word, bahimatul an'am. Bahimatul an'am is a specific kind of the halal animals. Can you slaughter chicken? Right? Huh? You cannot, right?
No.
I'm not talking about how to, is it permissible to eat it or not? I'm talking about, is it permissible to slaughter as udhiyah or not? So what are these animals? Deer is not one of them, by the way. Deer is not one of them, right? Bahimat al-an'am, they are as follows, which are camels, cattle means what?
Cows,
Cows.
oxen, it could be ox. Like
What about cows?
Yeah,
The
I think
buffaloes, like
buffaloes.
buffaloes, cows, right?
Right.
Cattle. No, this cattle is not goat. Cattle al-baqar wal-jamus. Right? Sheep, camels, cattle, sheep, and goats.
And goats.
How many things we mentioned now?
4.
4. Because Allah says in the Quran, the meaning of it, وَلِكُلِّ أُمَّةٍ جَعَلْنَا مَنْسَكًا لِيَذْكُرُوا اسْمَ اللَّهِ عَلَى مَا رَزَقَهُم مِّن بَهِيمَةِ الْأَنْعَامِ. Verse number 34, Surah Al-Hajj. Which may be translated as, and for every nation, we have appointed religious ceremonies, right? And that also means ceremonies and kind of festivals are part of Aqidah. Anyway, that they may mention the name of Allah over the Bahiyya means what?
Yeah, no.
In English. Means what? The beast, right? Yeah?
All right.
Of cattle and an'am. Al-an'am, that He has given them for food. Bahimat al-an'am, translated here as beast of cattle, includes camels, cattle, and sheep. This is what is well known among the Arabs.
You didn't say goats.
Hmm?
You didn't say goats.
Yeah, but because goats would be also under the sheep, like sheep, let's do like sheep and goats, right? And this was the view of Al-Hasan Qatada and others. So this is the first condition, right? Okay. So we said now, we're going to speak about now the ages, but this is finished first. It should have reached now the age stipulated in Sharia. What is this age for each of these animals? Has to have age.
2 years.
You said 2 years at least.
I heard 1 year.
It depends on which kind of animals. Sheep are not like cows, are not like camels. Every single thing of these animals has its own age and age restriction. First, we said here for a sheep, has to be at least 6 months. 6 months at least.
For sheep, yes.
For a sheep, and the age at which the animal is considered to be an adult for any other animal. Right? Because the Prophet ﷺ said, which means don't sacrifice anything but an adult animal unless it's difficult for you. Which means لا تذبحوا إلا مسنة إلا أن يعني يتعذر ذلك فيجوز ذبح الجذع من الضأن. جذع الضأن, which means, he said, unless it's difficult for you, in which case you may slaughter a 6 months old lamb. Lamb can be only 6 months if you cannot find more than that. So the only exception is lamb to be slaughtered when it reaches
6 months.
6 months. Nothing younger than that. From lamb or from goat. You know the difference, of course, right? From lamb, 6 months and up. So he said mature animal means one that is considered to be an adult. In the case of camels, now we mentioned the least, right? 6 months. In the case of camels, it means one that is how many years for camels? 5 years. Camels, if camels is 4 years old, you can slaughter. You go to you go to see camels. How old is she? And mashallah, now the honesty is everywhere. The opposite of it. Right? You go and you ask him, how old is she? Oh, like she turned 5 years the day before. Really? Yeah, and she's still 4 years. Have to know that. Have to be 5 years, right? At least 5 years. Camels have to be at least 5 years, right? For cattle, it means one that is 2 years old. One of Imam Malik even said 3 years. So at least cows and buffaloes have to be what?
2 years.
2 years. If it's 20 months,
No, it's not good.
22 months,
No good.
at least 2 years. Even some scholars said 3 years, by the way. So at least 2 years. At least 2 years. Some people take it lightly. MashaAllah, it looks nice, big, fat, beautiful.
Hey, baby.
No. This is not going to be a udhiyah. Now we got it? Okay. So now we said at least 2 years for the cattle. For sheep, it means one that is a year old.
You said 6 months.
The jaz'ah is that which is half a year old. So it's not correct to sacrifice a camel, cow, or goat that hasn't yet reached maturity, right? Or a sheep that is less than 6 months. So for goat, has to be at least goat. 1 year. Goat 1 year. So now camels, 5 years. Cows and buffaloes, cattle, 2 years. Goat,
1 year.
lamb, at least. So at least of course, if it's older than that, of course it will be okay. But at least to reason the minimum age. The third condition is it should be free of any faults or defects that would render it unsuitable for sacrifice. Here again, these defects would render these animals unsuitable for what? For food, eating? No, for what? Sacrifice. You can eat it if you like, but for sacrifice has specific qualities. He said for which there are four defects, four main defects. Actually, there are more than that, but I'm going to mention first here 4. First, what are these 4? He said an obvious defect in one eye. In one eye has a defect in one of her eyes, right? It's not. Such as when the eye is sunken in its socket, or when it sticks out like a button, like eyes is like out, or like or is white, doesn't see, and obviously defective. All of these things is the first defect, first fault. The second, obvious sickness, whose symptoms are clearly apparent in the animal, such as fever that prevents it from grazing and causes loss of appetite, It doesn't eat, it doesn't graze with other animals, sick, right? Mm. He said, and that affects its flesh or its health, right? Deep wounds that affect its health, like it got injured one day. And third of what?
4.
Third of what? For what?
The conditions.
4 conditions
Not for conditions.
to make
for
it
what?
defective.
Yeah,
4
four
defects.
defective.
4 defects to
right?
look for.
4 defects, right? This is, we mentioned now 2 defects. This is the third one. Obvious lameness. Lameness has one. Has a, has a like lameness in one of its legs, right? Which prevents the animal from walking normally. You go have to see the animal. You have to see it. It's not enough to see the animal like that, especially here, especially those who don't know. You go and see the animal is like standing. No, has to see the animal walking is good. It walks, doesn't have any defect, any lameness in her, in one of her eggs or her legs, right? So this is actually one of the other things have to make sure it's free from. The fourth, he said, he said here, hadith even mentioned that, العجفاء التي لا تنقي, which means the emaciation that leaves no marrow in the bones. Bones have the what do you call the marrow, right? The marrow in the bones. So some of these animals are very weak, doesn't have anything, like it's very weak. So point doesn't have, it's like its bones is empty even. Subhanallah. Because of the weakness, doesn't eat. And when the Prophet ﷺ, was asked about what should be avoided in Udhiyah, he gestured with his hand, means 4, and said, 4, a lame animal which is obviously lame, a one-eyed animal whose defect is obvious. Now it's 2. Third, a sick animal whose sickness is obvious, and an emaciated animal that no one would choose. Very weak animal. Very weak animal. He said this hadith narrated by Malik al-Muwatta. Hadith al-Bara ibn Azib. According to a hadith narrated from him in Sunan, he said, the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam stood up among us and said, there are 4 which are not permissible for sacrifice. And he mentioned something similar. He said, these 4 faults render an animal unsuitable for sacrifice. And they include similar faults or more severe faults. So the following animals are also unsuitable for sacrifice. You now add now how many? I add more 6 defects. Listen, now we mentioned 4, right? He said, one that is blind in both eyes. First she wasn't blind. She only had what?
One eye.
Huh? No, she had 2 eyes, but one of them is sunken, or what do you call, like popped out, right? Popped out. She can still see, but even sometimes you see some people they have that, right? Even humans, right? Their eyes are like popped out. They can see. So now the first is not about blindness, about the shape. It doesn't look nice. Subhanallah. Why? Because the point is when you sacrifice, you have to choose the best. Because you're going to do that for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You have to choose the best of the animals. Here he said one that is blind in both eyes, one that has eaten more than it can stand until the danger has passed. So sometimes the animals eat too much. He said you cannot slaughter now unless it actually relieves itself and becomes normal again, right? One that has encountered difficulty in giving birth. She was like pregnant, and while she was giving birth, she was facing difficulty. So you have to wait till it passes this danger, until the danger has passed. One that is unable to walk because of defect, any defect, she cannot walk. One that has had one of its forelegs or hind legs cut off. Of course, this is not permissible, right? He said these things. He said if these are added to the 4 defects mentioned in the text, so a number of those that cannot be offered as sacrifices reaches 10 now, right? He said also something else. The animal should belong to its owner. Nobody can take another animal from an animal from anybody, right? Steal animal, of course, is going to be accepted, right? Yeah. Or taken by force or anything, of course, is not going to be accepted. Yes. Okay. So he said it should be slaughtered at the time specified in Sharia, which is from, as we mentioned, after the Eid prayer on the day of Al-Adha until sunset on the last of the days of At-Tashriq. So what are the time window for sacrifice? For slaughtering?
You mean how long?
How long?
But in the Nazar until the 3rd day of the 10th day of
How many days?
3 days.
3 days or 4 days?
4 days.
4 days. So first day, the 10th, and then
11, 12, 13.
11, 12, 13 before Maghrib. Right? Yeah. This is the last. So you have
So you did plus 3 days?
8 days plus 3 days after 8.
I didn't know. I thought the 3 days altogether.
No, the first day is the 10th of the Hajj, and then 11th, 12th, and 13th before Maghrib of the 30th of this day. So the days when the sacrificed may be offered are 4: the day of Eid, after Salah, and the 3 days after that. Whoever slaughters it before the Eid prayer is over, or after sunset on the 13th of the Hajj, his sacrifice is not valid because of the hadith narrated by Al-Bukhari from Al-Bara ibn Azib anhu, according to which the Prophet ﷺ said, whoever slaughters his sacrifice before the prayer, it's meat that he has brought to his family, but that is not the sacrifice, right? So it's only meat if you do that before Eid. Another hadith said, whoever slaughters the sacrifice before he prays, let him replace it with another. Whoever does before he prays, let him do another one, replace it with another, right? And he said also the days of Tashriq are the days of eating, drinking, and remembering Allah. So this is the hadith that he mentioned in this also, in this point. So it's permissible to slaughter the Udhiyah at any time, night or day. But which is better, night or day? So, but it's better to slaughter it during the day. So this is one of the Sharia rituals, right? So to make it evident and clear and everybody sees, right? Something is going to be better. And it's better to slaughter on the day of Eid after the 2 khutbah. Each day is better than the day that follows it. Because the best is to slaughter first day after Salah. This is the best. Right, brother?
Yes.
The best is what? First day or second day?
First day.
First day or the second day? What is the best?
The first day.
First day. First day is the best, right? After Salah. And also not only that, the best is to eat from it. Like the Prophet he did. To eat, the first thing you eat on the day of Eid is from it. Because of that, praying Eid early in Eid al-Adha is better than delaying. Like if you can pray Eid al-Adha, now Shuruq now is 5:30. If you can pray 6 o'clock, good, because it's better not to eat. Sunnah, not to eat before Brother Malik, to go before you go to Eid. This is different from Eid al-Fitr. Eid al-Fitr, you do what before you go to Eid?
Yeah,
3 days, right? Or with any odd number, right? But Eid al-Adha is better not to eat, it's not fasting, but don't eat until you eat from, if you are intending to slaughter. If you are not intended to slaughter, it doesn't make any difference, like you eat or not, right? But if you have intention to slaughter, so don't eat unless you eat from your animal that you slaughter, right? So if of course to do that, you just to pray first and then you go, you slaughter it. You take time almost now 1-2 hours and then you eat and you can start with the liver, right? It's gonna be easy for you to cook it and to eat from it. So this is also the sunnah to do that. And also because once you intend to slaughter, what would you do now? Before the month of the Hajj starts, you have to stay away from cutting nails and hair. So would you be able to cut? By what? After you slaughter. So if you don't slaughter the first day, you would still have to wait, not to cut your nails, not to cut your hair till you slaughter. But if you slaughter immediately after Eid, you can go and after that you can cut your nails, right? That's going to be easier, much easier, right?
If you're not slaughtered.
Huh?
And if you're not slaughtered.
If you don't slaughter, it's okay. You can cut your nails, you can cut your, and you don't have to do anything, right? The only one, okay, if a person is slaughtering at his home, I'm going to come to this point now, like the point of if you have family, if you have your family, right? He said here, let's just leave that first very quickly. The difference between Hajj and Udhiyah, because now we mentioned this chapter in the book of Hajj, right? It's a chapter of sacrificial animals, both Hajj and Udhiyah. Hajj is for those who perform Hajj. Udhiyah are those is for those who don't go for Hajj. Said Hajj refers to illegally edible animals such as camel, cow, or a sheep, brought to the sacred mosque, Masjid al-Haram, slaughter there, Hajj you slaughter there, right, in Haram, and sacrificed for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Udhiyah refers to a legally edible animal slaughtered and sacrificed on the day of Adha, sacrifice, or the days of Tashriq, for the sake of attaining the closeness and the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then there is an agreement among Muslim scholars on the prescription of offering sacrificial animal for the sake of Allah. For instance, Ibn al-Qayyim said, look what he said. He said, offering a sacrificial animal for the sake of Allah, the Creator, is regarded as a sacrifice for one's own self, as one's self tends to fall into ruin by sinning. Right? So as if you do it for yourself, you ransom yourself. Right? SubhanAllah. Because of your sins, so you ransom yourself by slaughtering. And he said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَلِكُلِّ أُمَّةٍ جَعَلْنَا مَنْسَكًا لِيَذْكُرُوا اسْمَ اللَّهِ عَلَى مَا رَزَقَهُم مِّن بَهِيمَةِ الْأَنْعَامِ. And we have appointed a rite, mansak, of sacrifice, that they may mention the name of Allah over what He has provided for them of sacrificial animals. Moreover, the slaughtering of sacrificial animals and the shedding of their blood, the best thing to do is to shed blood, not for humans, animals. Because killing one person unjustly is like what? Killing the whole humankind, right? To shed the blood of animals on the day of Eid. While mentioning the name of Allah over them are legislated in all religions. He said the best sacrificial animal to offer is, what is the best? I ask you, what is the best, brother? Now you have all these kind of animals. What is the best slaughter?
Camel.
Camel. How would you slaughter camel? Alone?
Standing.
No, but okay, how would you're gonna do that okay, he said here the best is camel. Then what next? Cow. Then
Goat. No,
sheep. But something here you have to mention. It is better if what? Like how many people can participate in camel?
Seven.
Camel? 7, right? In camel?
7.
7. He said it's only better to do camels and then cow and then sheep. If you, of course, sheep is going to be alone for only one person, camels and cow for 7. If you are going to slaughter them for only yourself, like you're not going to allow anybody to participate with you, now will be the best. You got it? If you slaughter camel alone, only your family, you only your family, that's it. Now camel will be the best. Because you're going to get one head. You're going to get one head alone. Said if a camel or cow is offered by an individual, one person, now they are the best. As it will be a sign of one's generosity. Huh? And it will also be more beneficial for the poor due to the amount of meat they have. So now the best is to do what? Is not to participate with 6 people in one camel. The best is to slaughter a camel alone. You and only your family. That's it. The best. Then to slaughter a cow alone. Right? Alone, for only one family. He said, on the other hand, the best animal to sacrifice is the fattest. Big one. Then the most expensive one. The most expensive one. Because it's don't go to someone and he's saying to you 3,000, say I'm going to pay 5 because I want it to be most expensive. No, the most means the most expensive because it's the best. It's the best, right? Allah said in the Quran subhanahu wa ta'ala, ذَلِكَ وَمَنْ يُعَظِّمْ شَعَائِرَ اللَّهِ فَإِنَّهَا مِنْ تَقْوَى الْقُلُوبِ. And whoever honors the symbols of Allah, which is the sha'air rights, indeed it is from the piety of heart. Piety of heart. So this is one of the signs of piety, of righteousness, right? So to go and choose a good one, a good sheep, a good ram, a good camel, a good beautiful one, free from all defects, free from all faults and all, she's intact, beautiful, looks nice, is the best, right? So because you're not actually, your intention is not to go and to get meat. You can get meat from anywhere, right? Intention is to slaughter for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's insufficient to offer a sacrificial animal before it reaches the prescribed age for being slaughtered, which is 6 months again. For a sheep, for a sheep, 5 years for a camel, 2 years for a cow, and 1 year for goat. And for goat. He said here, it's good enough to be to offer a hajj on behalf of one man, as an udhiyah on behalf of one man, right? Shah would be also like in hajj you slaughter one shah for only one individual. Also udhiyah, right? Whoever one man and his household. But him and his household, like if one person is working in the household, he is the breadwinner, right? He's the only breadwinner. He's the only one who works. So he's the only one animal is going to be enough for all the members of the household. Not everybody has to slaughter, right? If someone wants to slaughter, his wife wants to slaughter, she has money, of course she can do that, no problem. Nobody can say no, don't slaughter.
Even if it's not like an animal that has 7 portions.
Hmm?
Even if it's an animal that does not have 7 portions.
Like what?
Like the camel.
Give me an example, like what? To do what?
I was told that the camel can be counted for like 7 people or something.
7 only, yes.
Yeah.
So what's the question?
So for example, like a sheep counts for 1 person, right?
Yes.
But if it's head of the household, it can be for the family, or is that we have a lot of people in our family.
You speak about one sheep
Yeah,
for only one house, only one family.
for one family.
For one family.
That works. It doesn't matter.
That's going to be enough, sufficient,
Oh.
right? If you want to slaughter, because here again, the point is not meat. The point is to sacrifice.
Yeah.
Is it going to be enough or not? It's going to be sufficient. If you want to slaughter 2 for one family, 2 sheep, of course it's good. The Prophet he did more than 1. If you want to slaughter 3, 4, 5 for only one family, why not? Now we speak about the minimum thing that you have to do or you might do, right? So 1 sheep for one family. One family, they are living together, they are eating together, right? So they have one, they say they are eating together. So, but if a father wants to slaughter and his son wants to slaughter and his wife wants to slaughter, nobody can say no, right? It's okay. He said a camel or a cow is sufficient as a hajj or udhiyah on behalf of 7 people. According to the hadith narrated by Jabir, and states, Allah's Messenger ﷺ commanded us to become 7 partners in the sacrifice of a camel or a cow. Abu Ayyub, may Allah be pleased with him, also narrated in the lifetime of the Prophet ﷺ, a person used to sacrifice a ewe, right? Did I say it correctly?
Sacrifice for what?
Let me say it.
Yeah, I read it that way too.
I think he said like EWE. I think this he meant it, like sheep, yeah, on behalf of himself and his household, and they would eat from it,
Female sheep.
which is ew or the you, right? Okay, I guessed that. So have you heard this word?
Yeah.
Huh? You, right?
Yeah.
So like a female, huh? Sheep, right?
That's what Google.
So he said in the lifetime of the Prophet ﷺ, a person used to sacrifice a ewe, right? Correct? On behalf of himself. So you, like he said here, a shed, like sheep, the female of the sheep. And they would eat from it and feed others. And yet it's important to point out that it's better to slaughter a single ewe than to have 7 persons share in slaughtering a camel or a cow. This is the point now. When somebody asks, or somebody comes to ask and says, what is the best? To only slaughter 1 sheep, my own self alone, or to participate in a cow with other 6 people? We say what's the best? 1 sheep. 1 sheep alone. You got it? 1 sheep alone, because now you will get 1 head, your own self. Slaughter 1 head. The other one, you're going to slaughter a head for 7.
Would that count for 7 families? Would that count for 7 families?
7 families? For what? 1 cow?
Camel.
1 camel for 7 families, of course.
7 families.
Yeah, 7 families. So because every family is being represented by 1 person, right? Today is what? July 4th? So, brother Malik, we said, what is better, to participate in a cow or a camel with 6 people, or to slaughter 1 sheep alone?
Participate in how?
Camel.
I like your confidence. Yes, the best to have the confidence, but before that, to have the correct answer. So to combine between both, he's the best man. So first we said here again, to slaughter 1 sheep alone,
Put a part in the cow.
or put a part in a cow. Okay.
Camel.
Oh, what's best?
I think
To slaughter 1 sheep alone.
Tashilaw.
Yeah, it's the best. It's the best. Why? Because now you will get 1 head slaughtered, offered by yourself. You're going to offer 1 head to Allah, right? 1 head. But the other option, you're going to participate in 1 head, right? He said it's a condition that a sacrificial animal, whether hajj or udhiyah, must be free from all physical defects. Thus, it's insufficient to offer a skinny or a sick animal as sacrifice. Very skinny animal. Oh, no, it doesn't work. Likewise, it's insufficient to sacrifice a blind animal or one-eyed animal has only one eye, or a lame animal that can hardly walk. A mad animal. What? Listen. Mad animal?
No.
Yes. You cannot slaughter a mad animal. So I mean, can you find a mad animal? Is there any mad animal? Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Subhanallah. So a mad animal is not also right or is not correct. Or listen to this: a toothless one doesn't have teeth. Doesn't have teeth. We did mention that before, but here. Or a very old one with very small or dry udders. You know the udders is said here. Yes, the place of like milk, right? Huh? الضرع, right? So he said because of its old age, its udder has no milk and it's so dry. Subhanallah said, don't even slaughter this one because of so old. Maybe 10 years or whatever, or Allah Alam, so old. Don't slaughter this one.
Not even for regular.
No. You can eat it. No, it's halal. No, I'm talking about now, here again, we speak about a specific thing, which is udhiyah, right? We don't talk about halal haram to eat. Of course, these animals, whether it's blind, whether it's sick, whether it's skinny, whether it's all, you can eat it. In a normal day, but it's not as simple as udhiyah. Right? You can sacrifice and you can slaughter as an animal, bismillah, and you eat. Right? But we speak about now udhiyah, because udhiyah is a specific ibadah for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to be offered on that day, has to be sound and intact and everything should be beautiful. And he said all these things are accepted as a sacrifice as well. The same goes for an animal which is obviously sick. For Al-Bara ibn Azib narrated that Prophet ﷺ said, 4 types of animals, again, are impermissible to be offered as sacrifice. A one-eyed animal which has obviously lost the sight of one eye, a sick animal which is obviously sick, a lame animal which is obviously like it's very clear, right? And an animal with a broken leg or no marrow, from inside, right? Very.
How do you know that?
No marrow, huh?
How do you know?
It's being like observed. You can observe that. And those who have experience, they can observe that. So even highly recommend if you go to buy, have to take somebody who is like having kind of experience, right? According to the most valid opinion, the optimum time for slaughtering a sacrificial animal, whether it's udhiyah or hadi, offered by one performing hajj as tamattu', is during the period from after the Eid prayer until the last of the days of the Shriq. It's preferable for one to eat from the sacrificial animal one offers as udhiyah or hajj in case of performing hajj, or as tamattu' or qiran. Its meat is divided as follows. Now, how to divide meat when you slaughter? 3 portions, right? 3 portions. This is not important. This is not actually like something you have to, but this is best. Allah said in the Quran, فَكُلُوا مِنْهَا وَأَطْعِمُوا الْبَائِسَ الْفَقِيرَ أو أطعموا القانع والمعتر. Eat from it and give those who ask and those who don't ask. Give those who ask, so you eat from it first. It's better to eat from it. And there was the Prophet ﷺ did. Eat from it and give those who ask to take, like poor, and those who don't ask to can give gift, right? Do you have to divide into 3 equal portions, like 3/3? Do we have to? No, you don't have to. You can take half of it if you have a big family, and you can give 1/4 as a gift and 1/4 to the poor. Or you can take 1 even quarter and give the rest of it to the poor. Or but you can it's not like something you have to do it like equal, right? No. But you have to it's better to eat from it, even a small portion, and to give those who ask and those who don't ask. 1/3 for the honor and 1/3 to be given as gifts, and 1/3 to be given in charity. Also in the Quran, so eat فكل منها وأطعموا البائس الفقير. So eat of them and feed the miserable and poor. Oh. As for Hajj, this is something else for Hajj, inshallah. We're going to talk about the point of Hajj now. We want to mention that Hadith said, Hadith Sahih Muslim, Hadith قال Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when it's the beginning of the Hajj and any one of you intends to offer a sacrificial animal, he shouldn't get any of his hair cut or nails trimmed until he offers it. Until he offers it. In case one has trimmed one's hair or nail, what should he do? One must seek the forgiveness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There's nothing to be done, but he has to ask Allah to forgive him. Yet, one is not obliged to offer anything in expiation, nothing to be done, only ask Allah to forgive you. This is actually a kind of, inshallah, guidelines for the Udhiyah. And one more thing here, people now they deal with animals harshly, as we mentioned at the beginning. One of the manners, when you slaughter animal can understand. So don't slaughter animal in front of others. Take her away and sharpen your blade and slaughter Bismillah, right? And do that without hating the animal. Don't hate the animal. It's not, by the way, animals are one of Allah's creation. And Allah didn't allow us to do anything with animals except only to slaughter. Like you cannot hit, you cannot beat her. You cannot do actually any of these things. It's haram. It's haram. It's not like because Allah has given you the permissibility, right? To slaughter, so now you just take it and you suffocate it and you just take it like that and you hate it, or now you stun the animals, now you shot the animals. That's haram. That's even with cats, Allah, even with bird, even with even with chicken. One day, subhanallah, one of the Sahaba, he saw some of boys are playing. They bought a chicken, a live chicken, and they made it as a target, and they try to see who is gonna just hit the target. He passed by them and said, the Prophet, he forbidden that. He has forbidden that, even with the chicken. Only you have the permissibility to slaughter, Bismillah, that's it. Don't break her, don't torture her, have to treat her very well. It's a creation, and you have to, as he says, وَإِذَا ذَبَحْتُمْ فَأَحْسِنُوا الذِّبْحَ. You have to apply all the kinds of perfection when you slaughter the animals. So using, as I said, gun, said this is actually to electric shock, right? Give her electric, to stun it. Give her this electric shock or to stun it, right? To make it dizzy, and then you're gonna. Who said that? Only case if the animals became wild, uncontrollable animal. Now you cannot control it. So now you deal with it as wild animals. You hunt it. You can use anything from even now. You cannot even catch. You cannot get hold of it. So you can do anything. But if the animal is not wild and you can control it, right? You can control it. Still, it's within your ability to control it. Of course, you can't do anything else, right? Because you might kill the animal with that. Who knows? You might kill the animal. You might hit animal, and the animals actually they differ. They vary. Some of them can afford such hit or such stunning. Some cannot. Some cannot. Subhanallah. So you hit the animal, then now she's dying now, and you slaughter while she's dying already. If you don't slaughter, she's gonna be dying. This is
Maybe in pain, right?
as you said. It's like if we say it is like a meat for meat, we can be it's okay, acceptable. Eat it. Alhamdulillah. You caught it before it died. But as you heard here, the hadith said if it's lame, if it has a lameness, don't slaughter. It's not going to be accepted. What about those who go and stun the animals and make it like? And sometimes the scholar even say, what if you don't slaughter right now after you stun it? Would it die? If it would die by its on its own, no, it would be like very sick. So this is not be accepted actually. Even if we say it's not accepted, I think it's going to be a strong opinion, right? But like to do anything else, Try to avoid that because it's not something good for the animals. You torture the animals now, and we ask Allah Subhanahu wa Taala to accept our udhiyah. Any question? Yeah.
So cow is 7 years. So the masala is that at the time of Udhiyah, all 7 members have to be present and they have to have done with the Eid prayer, yani hadir at the time.
The Prophet ﷺ, he said to Fatima radiallahu anha, witness the time of or the moment of slaughtering your animal because you'll be forgiven. You'll be forgiven with the first drops of blood, right? But is it like an essential thing you have to do? Is it something must? No, it's not must. You can give somebody the proxy or a proxy to do it on your behalf, and you don't have the wakala. You have to be present. And we do that in Hajj. Hajj now, most of the Hajjaj, they go and buy tickets, and they, of course, they give the some people over there, or even the government over there, they take care of that. So you don't have to be present, but it's better to be present. It's better to even slaughter your own self with your own hands, if you can. If you can slaughter with your own hands, at least to witness, right? If you cannot witness, still we say udhiyah is valid. Now we speak about what is better, what is the best, and what is the thing that we have to do. At least to be done after salah. But to be present or not is not something must.
So they all have to have the pray the salah or
Yeah. After the time of salah, if someone missed salah, he missed the salah. Okay, he missed the salah, but so at least after the time of salah, the imam of his community prayed, right? Imam of his community, his imam prayed, but it's better, of course, because the ayah said, فَصَلِّ لِرَبِّكَ وَانْحَرْ. You can pray even Eid, you can make it up. After that, if you have jama'ah, you can do it, right? At home, or so you can pray, and then it's better to do that. But after the time of salah, yes, alhamdulillah, now you can slaughter. Like if women now, one of women, she wants to slaughter, right? But she cannot pray because she has an excuse. What should you do? What should she do now? She has to wait till Muslims pray, who are in her community. They pray and they offer salah. Now she can go and slaughter, right? Yeah.
what about doing Udhiyah for marhumi? I mean for valid.
The Sahaba didn't do that, but you can do it. Some scholars say it's okay, but the Prophet ﷺ didn't do that, or like for those who died. But you can slaughter and you can distribute the meat as a sadaqah on behalf of the deceased person, right? You can distribute the meat on his behalf. But they speak about the act of slaughtering itself. Is it to be given to the meat or the meat that you distribute? So all of them agree that the meat, of course, you can give the meat on his behalf. It will be sadaqah, charity. So all of them agree on that. No, but the act of slaughtering itself, they differ. So but the meat you slaughter and you take the meat you give it to the poor on behalf of this person who died, yes, of course, you can do that. Yeah. So any other question?
Yes. Anyone is the horn is like a broken.
Oh, also the horn, yeah, exactly. So, or the ear too. And the ear, but a very good question. I mentioned, or some subhanAllah brother asked me yesterday about this also. Like ear, even some scholars said it's not valid if the ear is being cut.
Or tag. The tag is
Tag, they said don't use this as a mark. Make any other, like make any, like try to figure out another way to mark it other than tagging, and But they say if it's cut, At least, scholars say it's disliked. Some of them say it's makruh. And some of them say it's not even permissible. Imagine that. If its ear is cut. Because you said now you are not slaughtering a complete cow or a complete animal. No, it's not complete. Part of it is not there. Part of it is not there. So it's not a whole. Huh? So they actually mentioned that and they emphasized on that.
Female cows where you have shot, maybe she's pregnant. Can you do that?
You can slaughter no problem. She's okay. She's not sick. Yeah.
So
And its baby will be, you have to slaughter. It's going to be part of its meat. Yeah. So زكاة زكاة الأم زكاة إيه؟ يعني ما في بطنها يعني the act of slaughtering for the mother is the same is going to be actually enough for whatever in her belly.
I know in some countries or some people they like to dress up the animal in like flowers and stuff. What's the opinion on that?
I think this is of the culture of the non-Muslims.
Yeah, it's a culture thing.
The Hindus do that.
They do that. But I've seen even like the animal that's meant for qurbani.
Meant for Qurbani, just you mark it. You use it for Qurbani, but market don't use you can mark it by anything. But use flowers and dress and this as if she's like bride going to.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's like subhanallah, sometimes it's like
what about the skin? Some people.
something else.
Yeah.
Jazakallah khair. The Prophet ﷺ, he said he has forbidden giving the skin or selling the skin
They do that. But
or giving the skin to the butcher as a kind of compensation.
Like leather.
you cannot do that.
That's going to make it's not permissible. It's not permissible. Now because part of the udhiyah is not for the sake of Allah, as if you got some of it.
So what do we do?
So the butcher, you say to the butcher, okay, I'm going to give you your fees, your wages. Okay, you slaughter for me, you cut it. I'm going to give you $200. It's not your business now. Give me everything, the skin, and the skin give it to the poor.
So what some people say is they give sadaqah.
Oh, you give the sadaqah, but don't sell it.
But they sell
Don't sell the skin.
They sell it and then they give money the orphanage or something.
The owner of the sacrificed animal cannot sell the skin or shouldn't sell the skin. Or even you can say he mustn't sell the skin. He has to give it.
But they can use it.
He can use it because he can eat from the sacrificed animal. So he can use it, but he cannot sell it. And after you slaughter, can you sell your portion? Then you take a third. Can you sell your portion? No, you cannot sell. Eat from it, give the poor, and give as gift. But you cannot sell. This authentic hadith. The Prophet has forbidden selling the skin. He said, you know what he said? قال من باع, listen to this hadith. من باع جلد أضحيته فلا أضحية له. Whoever sells the skin, the hide of his udhiyah, sacrificed animal, he has no udhiyah. His udhiyah is not as if he didn't do it.
Is there any disqualifying in the seven?
Hmm?
Any one of the seven, when is gonna be disqualified as a,
You know what? The seven?
yeah.
What do you mean say disqualified?
I mean, 7 people can,
7 people or 6 or 5 or whatever.
okay.
Yeah.
So anytime you can be disqualified because of any reason.
I don't understand the question.
Example like
Give me an example.
he doesn't pray or he did not pray any of the 7 or any of the 6.
It's up to him now. Now you only care about your portion. By the way, even some can participate and their intention is only meat.
No.
You can do that, some people they want to participate and they want to get their portion not as udhiyah as meat. Like you can say now 4 brothers they want to slaughter as udhiyah. and 6 you want to slaughter as meat. So you only have to divide the cow into 7 portions. 7 portions only, right? And you, as the one who participated, you have to take 1 portion out of 7, 1/7. You have to take 1/7, 1/7. Those who wanna they wanna slaughter for meat is okay. It's up to them now. But you cannot take less than 1/7. You cannot participate in less than 1/7 if you wanna slaughter for udhiyah. You get it?
Yeah, sometimes people say, if any of the 7
No, no, no.
is no.
No, even has his own like way. Inshallah. جزاكم الله خيرا. Any question? So alhamdulillah, any question here? You can check the.
Sundown.
Anybody send any question here?
No.
Okay.
It should be,
Allah
it should be
bihamdik.
right here, right?
So Allah bihamdik. أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. جزاكم الله خيرا. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept our good deeds and our udhiyah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us the ability to worship Allah the best 10 days ever in the year. The first 10 days are the best 10 days ever. Even the scholars said they are better than the days of Ramadan. The first 10 days of Hajj, they are the best 10 days ever. You can pray, you can fast. Of course, you're going to pray. I mean, at night, you can fast, you can give a charity, all good deeds. Inshallah, the best 10 days ever in the first 10 days of the Hajj. So may Allah enable us to worship Him subhanahu wa ta'ala as he subhanahu wa ta'ala deserves to be worshipped. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لكم صلى الله عليه وسلم. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأتوب إليك. جزاكم الله.